Hey, you guys, I'm excited to maybe do a little work with you today. I decided maybe I would work with you on an activity that you could create to work with your little guys, kids that are working on learning the alphabet or visual discrimination with the alphabet or just thinking about order and the names of the alphabet. And so there's something that we'll use in schools called an alphabet arc, and you can order these online professionally, but I'm at home and I need one, and so I just made it. So I thought, well, gosh, let me see if I can show other parents how to do it. So some things that you're gonna need. I really love 11 by 17 paper. It's my favorite size on the planet. I know most people don't carry this in their house. So if you don't have two 11 by 17 pages, then you could maybe use 8.5 by 11 and kind of make a quadrant. So what I'm going to just show you how to make this today. And so the things that you'll need is the paper. You could use highlighters to make your arc, to make the line of the arc, or I really love fat Sharpies, or any kind of marker is fine. And then you need letters. Now, here's the thing. I love magnetic letters, and I really love the plastic ones that, a lot of kids have that you put on the refrigerator. And so if you've got some of those at home, you might want to also lay those out to make sure that you have enough space, that you're leaving enough space across the arc from the beginning to the end. I'm using this little type here. I happen to just have these in my office. I'll put a couple of links in the description so that you can find some alphabet letters online. And if you don't, you can do some other things. What's nice about letters that are raised or like this, or like the plastic ones, it's easy for little fingers to pick up and manipulate. So the tactile kinesthetic aspect of that is great. If you don't, you could always make small ABC cards or out of other cardstock or paper or something like that. So we're gonna make this. And the idea is that we're gonna make, I'm gonna show you how you can make a couple of different versions, because I might wanna make one that actually has the letters of the alphabet going around the arc so that kids can match the letters. And that's great for them to match, the shapes of letters and visually discriminate one from the other. And then I'll show you some other things that we can do as well. So I'm gonna move this one out of the way. This is one I've been using with one of my little darling girls that I've been working with. And so we're gonna start just with some blank paper. So I'm gonna just take this paper, and normally I love my redneck laminating, which is just really packaging tape. But I thought most people might be more likely to have, Scotch tape or something like this from wrapping packages at home. So we're gonna try to make it work. And I find that the best thing to do is just to stick it quickly. So I'm just gonna lay the two pages side by side, and I'm just gonna tape one side. And I am not a perfectionist, so if it's a little bit uneven, I don't really care. If that is important to you, then I guess pour your drink of your choice and make sure it's straight. So I'm gonna just show you a way to make an arc. One thing I might do is, if I wanna, most likely I'll have A at this end, Z is gonna be at this end. And then one thing to remember is that M and N will be up here at the top of the arc. So I'm gonna come from one side, and I'm just gonna make a nice sort of even round arc. It's not quite perfect, but it's okay. That'll be just fine. And now what I want to do is think about, how do I want my arc to be? So if I want to make this arc where I can have my little one take and match, can they find the ones and match it? Then I'm going to go, and what I may do is actually put the alphabet underneath the arc or above the arc if you have enough space. And so what I'm going to do is put the A here. I'm going to go ahead and put the M and the N up here, okay? And I think it's important that you use good, solid, basic print, nothing fancy, because for youngsters, they're trying to really visually discriminate those letters. And then I'll put Z at the end. And then I'm gonna think about, okay, if this is A and M, you know, what's kind of in the middle of those. And so if I think A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so maybe around G might be halfway here. And I also want to think about the size of my letters, right? So can my letters kind of, you know, lie on top of that, and can they fit, right? And you could always even put your letters down first to help you think about exactly where they need to be. There's a lot of ways around this, a lot of ways to skin this cat, so to speak, as my grandma would used to say. And so I can now see, oh yeah, they'll all fit nicely. And so now I can go ahead and write all those letters in, and then that's a nice tool for my kids to practice alphabet work. Okay, so they can actually take and they can lay on the floor. You can do this at a table, and then you can put all the alphabet in the middle and then have them see if they can match. And if that's too much, because sometimes putting all the letters is really overwhelming when kids first start this. You might put just maybe the first 4 letters and then cover, and just have them try to match them in smaller groups. Okay, so that's definitely something that you can do. So one is to make an arc and put the entire alphabet on the arc, and kids can match them. And then another thing that you can do is you can have a plain arc that doesn't have any letters on it, right? And the kids know, you just want to teach your kids that the first thing they're going to do is find the A, and they're going to put the A down. And then they're going to find the letter M and N, and those are going to go at the top, right? Like so, right up here. And then they're going to find the letter Z, and then they're going to put that in at the end. And then they can go about trying to find the letters and put them in order. And I do tell the kids, like, when you get here, you can sing the ABC song. So that's really important that they know how to sing the ABC song. And it's super cute because we know that when they get in the middle of the alphabet and elemental P, and that's super cute. But when we get to the point where we're really now wanting kids to know clearly the letters, we do want to make sure that they're learning LMNOP. And I even have been working with some little ones on M. If you look at my mouth, M, the lips touch. And I've even drawn that on this particular arc that I have, just to help this one little darling, is that, don't laugh at my drawing, I know. But this, I've got my lips closed like an M. And on the N, you'll see that the tip of my tongue, I've drawn it up behind my teeth. And so it's M, N. And so those being very clear, getting kids to open their mouth, that's going to be really helpful. She's done brilliantly with those tips, by the way. And so the other thing that's great about this is that as they're singing the ABC song, and they're singing A, B, C, oh, they're like, C's next. What comes next? A, B, C, D. So then we find the letter D. So it's also great for helping kids with one-to-one correspondence. And that's a really big deal. And also helping to make sure that they're thinking how each letter has its own place, and that they're not combined. I can put the whole alphabet, we can put the whole alphabet arc together, and then I can take some off, and their job is to figure out which ones are missing. I can maybe switch a couple, and they have to go and see which one is right. I might even take, and we might pull all of the sticks, all of the alphabet letters that have sticks, and put them in the middle, or the ones that have circles, the ones that have tunnels, the ones that have tails, like the cat, like that would be the G and the Q. I tell the kids these are like little tails, like kitty tails. And what that's nice is that's helping kids to visually discriminate the differences in those letters. We forget what it's like to have something like this be brand new for our brain. And it just seems to be so obvious, but it's not for little kids. And so giving them lots of opportunities and different ways to play with letters and language and all these beginning literacy skills, these early literacy concepts, is great. So that's the alphabet arc, and I hope this has been helpful for you. And be sure, and if you have questions, pop them in the comments, and like us, follow us, and subscribe on YouTube. Thanks.